And you must have done that in order to gain full title. Because you have no right, nobody has a right. Do you have a car? You do, we came in it. Would you mind if I put a charge on your car?
Well, it's a hire car, so it doesn't.
Death to all hire cars. You can't put a charge on somebody else's property. So the only way that you could possibly have authorised that title deed is authorisation to put a charge on the property is if you own the property. You won't own that property unless you are paid in full. Common sense. So what's the need? What's the charge for? What are the repayments for? It's a scam! What would be fair would be to pay the financial institution, the bank or the building society a reasonable fee, say a couple of grand. Hey, it's £2 grand, monetise my signature, my promissory note. Done! Thank you. Kiss my arse, goodbye. That's it. I sign it, promissory note, pays it in full. Thank you, just type the numbers into the database, two grand for that. No problem. It's true. Any so-called debt, if all else fails, get some Tesco value paper, a ream for £4.50 and write promissory notes. You can make it a bit fancy with a spirograph graphic around the edges, for example. Write the amount in words and numbers. For the date, you can say, on the date that a sum paid by the Bank of England to the bearer on demand, when they do it, I'll do it. Get it notarised, cost 40 to 50 quid depending. And we know some notaries now that will do this, no problem. They didn't want to, we tried a few notaries to start with, don't go near free men on the land. Well, we found a few that do. Laid back guys, you know, hey, I don't care, I'm retired, I'll notarise it. Very nice, very pretty seals, they thought. Sign it in front of the notary, that's the point of notarising. Send it to whoever is making the demand, pointing out in a covering letter that the statutory definition of a promissory note is cash. It is. It has to be in order to make banknotes cash. That's obvious. The Bills of Exchange Act 1882 says if payment is tendered but is rejected, then that debt no longer exists. That's obvious. If somebody says you owe them 100 quid and you say, oh yeah, okay, here's 100 quid. And they say, no, I don't want it after all. No debt. Thank you very much. Put it back in your pocket. Obvious. Can we get away with it? That's not the point. Now, people outside the freedom movement, particularly, for example, policymen and, you know, councillors and, you know, judges and lawyers and so on, and many inside, by the way, think we are trying to get away with something, like not paying council tax, not paying income tax, not paying TV licence, whatever. We are not trying to get away with anything. We are trying to prevent them from getting away with taking the piss out of us with their extortions, frauds, deceptions, and blackmails. Writing a promissory note brings that deception of IOUs to the forefront, brings the illusion of, it's an illusion. Now, is this promissory note more worthless than this worthless promissory note? That's the question. And we've had courts tied up for months trying to decide whether a promissory note written on some Tesco value paper, which was completely worthless, was more worthless than this worthless, useless, empty, meaningless, bloody promise. But it does get me a drink, you know. The court system, chock full of problems, as I'm sure we know, we wouldn't be here. Largely because of the roles People do not know the roles that judges and magistrates have agreed to play via their solemnly sworn, important, solemnly sworn oaths of office. Added to this, the fact that grand juries were abolished in 1931. The system is fundamentally flawed and irretrievably broken. It's too far gone. Tinkering with it only makes things worse as far as true, honourable, real, unbiased justice is concerned, which is the things that we want. Well, this is what I want, and I presume you want because you're here. The solutions: bring judges back to their oaths of office and don't let them extend their so-called authority past this oath. This would limit them solely to running courts de jure, and no further statutes would be required, and EC regulations would also be redundant.
Good.
Abolish magistrates and reconvene grand juries. Abolish politics, religion and legalese, and money, especially money, because that takes all the others with it. And then, suitably enlightened, establish sovereign republics for England, Wales and Scotland, and possibly Northern Ireland, but it might be an idea to give that back to the Irish, because it afterwards is. And of course, the Southern Ireland is the only sovereign republic on the planet. And that's where the idea comes from. Because in 1916, the Irish had to figure it all out. Oh boy, did they have to. But, and then in 1919, they created the Sovereign Republic. And in 1922, being Irish, oh well, we'll do something about it tomorrow. And since 1922, it's all fallen apart for them, just like it would. But it didn't have to. If they'd kept their, if they kept it going, the Irish would be a beacon of hope, instead of being on the rump of the European Union. But it is a sovereign republic, and that's what we need. And I haven't actually defined what a sovereign republic is, but it's defined in my book, in the second edition of my book, where I present a declaration. A sovereign republic, very basically, for a start, if there's any government, it requires a 2/3 majority of the entire country, 2/3, to pass anything. Oh, sorry, let's start again. Every person is sovereign. That means you always have to consent to everything except the common law. Nothing. You have to consent to the common law, that's common sense, that's peaceful coexistence. But anything over and above that, you as a sovereign would have to consent to. Now, it gets passed if 2/3 consent. But only those who voted are subject to it. If you didn't vote or you voted no, you are unaffected by it. That's sovereignty. And that's a sovereign republic. Only by your consent are you bound. That's the common law, that's sovereignty, that's a sovereign republic. How do you bring a judge back to their oath of office? By reminding them of it. By asking up front, before answering any other questions, are you prepared to act under your oath of office? Sir, if you wish to be polite. I personally wouldn't leave the sir out, because I know I'm talking to a psychopath. The results of asking this question, and this is experience, can only be described as spectacular. It will create either a pregnant silence, or a very loud, enraged rant, or "Judges don't answer questions." No, a judge, I will be coming back to this, don't worry. A judge will have legal knowledge. If he or she has any knowledge of law, they will invariably not let on unless seriously pushed. A so-called judge has been heard to say, "Judges make the common law." In your dreams, sunshine. Which of course is plain nonsense. It's making up as they go along. as they do.